Hello and welcome. If you're new here, do me a huge favor, click that subscribe button down below for content like this and many more. For all you current subscribers, thank you very much for liking, for sharing, for watching my videos. Now, what do I have next to me? Well, in the EV space, in the electric car world, if you don't have an electric vehicle, people basically go elsewhere. So Honda, to keep customers, they now have their own electric car. This is the 2024 Honda Prologue. I'm gonna talk about it, review it, go over all the technology and features. Stay tuned, that is coming up next. And before I continue, thank you very much Honda for providing me this vehicle in my home test area for me to test and review and give you guys my honest opinion. Stay tuned, that's coming up next. Okay, let's talk 2024 Honda Prologue. This is Honda's first electric vehicle, and if you stay to the end of the video, I'll give you a little secret about this car. Anyway, let's start in the front. Very happy, traditional Honda look. Not gonna offend anybody. You have, of course, there is no grille because it's an electric vehicle, so there is blacked out spare. You got the Honda logo on the front. Camera, 360 camera on the bottom of the H because this vehicle has a 360 camera. The grill itself is down here for cooling for the battery system, and the automated cruise control sensor and lane departure, all that stuff. It's in the front. It does have parking sensors up front. Headlights are completely LED, as you guys can see. So the turn signal, daytime running lights is a little eyebrow. High and low beam is LED. My tester is sitting on Bridgestone Alenza all-season tires. This model has 21-inch wheels, which are very large. And as you can see, 6 lug. That's another clue to this vehicle, which you don't really see a lot of SUVs with 6 lugs in the market, EV or not. This color is very nice. It's like a Sonic bluish gray thing. I like it. People giving me thumbs up in my week of testing with this car. Mirrors are black painted. You got all the thing. And looks wise, it's very traditional SUV. It kind of has like a little wedgy, pudgy look to it. Very nice. And going on to the back, you notice it doesn't have the Honda H in the back. It just has a very nice font that says Honda. And it just says Prologue Elite on the side. There's a little tiny E right here letting people know that it's electric and all-wheel drive because this is a dual motor vehicle. And that's pretty much it in terms of styling. You do have roof rails. This particular model does have the panoramic glass. You do have sensors on each door to open and unlock the doors. Oh, and talking about doors, let's not forget the charge door in this particular model is up here, right up front. So you do have the traditional J1772, and there's the DC fast charger. So this vehicle can charge from 10% to about 80 in about 10 minutes. I like the fact that it's a manual door, not power operated. Less complication is always a good thing. All right, let's go over the cargo area. So, and then we can go inside and drive. Inside, go over the features, tech, and then we'll go for a quick drive. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's take a look at the cargo area of the Honda Prologue. So you can open the hatch in 3 ways. So with the key, or you could just do this, wave your feet underneath, which I may or may not do it because I don't know. These things are sometimes, oh, there it goes. It did it. And with the seats up, you have about 25.2 cubic feet of space, which is a lot. It's a decent sized room space. You do have underfloor cubby here for extra storage. So you can lift this guy up, and this is where the charge cable will go. You do have a tow hitch. You do have a nice deep well. I don't believe this car has a spare tire because this one has 21-inch wheels. So I highly doubt, unless it's underneath all this stuff, which I am not going to remove. I don't know if it has a spare. But anyway, and the seats do fold down. You can fold them individually. So you can press this right here, this button like so, if I know how to do it, and there you go. You could just push it forward. And with both seats folded, the cargo capability expands to 57.7, which is very healthy. And I can sit behind myself, which I'll demonstrate a little bit in the interior portion. And I'm 5'8". So let's close this hatch. And before I continue in the interior, power-wise, the horsepower is 288 horsepower and about 333 pounds-feet of torque. It can do 0 to 60 in about 5.8 seconds, which is not lightning fast, but it's adequate, just like a gas car. The headlights are fully automatic. It does have automatic high beam, lane departure warning, lane keep assist, automatic rear braking, all the safety stuff of a modern vehicle. This does have it. All right, let's take a look at the interior, the technology, and let's talk about range and charging. Stay tuned for that, and then we go for a drive. Okay, let's step inside the 2024 Honda Prologue. Very straightforward, nothing crazy. These buttons, press once to lock, and then another one to unlock, and the whole thing opens. Sadly though, and it's interesting, it's missing the sensor where you just put your door handle and unlock it. Price for this is about $60,000. So something like that should be included in a vehicle at this price point. Anyway, moving on to the interior. This one is finished in like a black and tan, which is very nice. Materials are soft, softly padded. You got, of course, auto up and down, all 4 windows. You do have power folding mirrors. So being that this vehicle is electric, you can just press it and it works because there's always power. Lock unlock in here. You got memory settings for 3 drivers. Trunk release is right here. The seats are fully up, of course, full power, heated and cooled, both passenger and driver seats. And you got 2-way lumbar support right here. They're comfortable. The seats are not too bad. You do have the controls here for sport mode, automatic parking brake, lane departure warning, auto brake hold, and the dimmer switch. And stepping inside here, this is a very nice place to be. You do have a instrument cluster in front of you. I charged the battery to 36%, well, 35 now it changed, which gave me about 100 miles. This infotainment screen is about 11.3 inches. So let's put your foot on the brake. There's a start button. And it does all these bongs and beeps and very loud. I think they're playing through the speaker, but in front of me is the infotainment screen, so you can cycle through different versions. So this is a standard version here. You have the charge meter / power on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side. And if you press this button here on the steering wheel, it cycles through Google Maps, which is very cool. And it will show you turn-by-turn navigation. This vehicle also has a head-up display, which is a little hard to pick up on camera, but if you guys can see that little floating 0 there, that is a head-up display. It shows turn-by-turn navigation, lane departure warning, all that fun stuff. And it's a decent size. You can circle back. You have phone pickup and hang up right here, voice command button, music. The heated steering wheel control is right here because it is heated. And the cruise control information, the buttons are right here. And another interesting thing about this car is that the volume control is actually back here. So that's the actual volume up and down buttons right here, which is interesting, instead of traditionally being out front like normal, like most modern cars. This vehicle does have the Bose sound system. Oh, and this is the lane departure warning screen and radar cruise control. So it'll show you what vehicle's in front of you and whatnot, so when you're driving. Wiper controls and turn signal is on the left hand side. So you got to twist this little dial here to turn on the wipers. You can also set them to automatic in the infotainment screen, which we'll go over in a second. And the inner one controls the little rear wiper, which this vehicle has. Moving on to the center console, you do have a gigantic pad here. Let me move this cable out of the way. You have a giant pad here for whatever, so you can put cell phones here. It won't roll away. It's nicely padded. 2 fast charging USB-C ports right here. You do have a traditional cigarette style power port. You do have controls for your climate control right here, so you can hit auto and you could adjust your temperature. It is a dual zone climate control. You could also do it on the screen as well. So you can see, you can control the climate control on the screen. You can sync. You can tell it to heat only, which is interesting because you can control your own heat, but whatever the case, it does that. This button here adjusts the one pedal driving. So what that does is it gives you like kind of like a force feedback, and it recoups a little bit of energy back to the car. And this is the home screen, so this is what it looks like. So you got vehicle status, Google Assistant, because this is running Android Automotive. Basically it's just Android on the car, so it's running just like a phone in terms of you have full access to the Play Store. So you could, if you buy this vehicle, you can set up everything, download apps, pretty much just exactly like your phone, which is pretty cool. And here is the charging information. So I was able to charge it earlier to about 50. I was going to do 50, but I didn't, change my mind. But you can charge it here, tell it to charge, not charge. You can schedule the charging. Let me turn off the climate control here so it doesn't go nuts. Lower the fan speed. Turn it off. And yeah, so you could do peak time, off peak time, which off peak, of course, if you have an electric vehicle, it is a little cheaper. And this activates the 360 camera. So right now it's showing the front. You have different front views. There's the towing camera if you want to tow with this. Different front views as well. Actually, that's the back. So if you want to see the back or the front, and then it shows you the lines here when you're moving. This is, you could change the view if you just want a front big view, or if you want the 360, which is, of course, is useful. Oddly enough, lighting controls are here. So if you want to turn on your headlights, you could do it both ways. You could do it here, this little lighting thing right here. You could do off, auto, parking, and so on and whatnot. But then if you want to turn on the dome lights for everything, you press it here, then it turns on all the lights, obviously. You can, of course, still turn them on manually, obviously. You could do that. You could turn them on manually front and back, but it's a little weird how to have that buried on the screen. Window lockout is there as well. This is the head-up display, so you can control the head-up display, which is right there. And you can control the brightness of it, the brightness, the height, rotation, all that fun stuff. And once you set all this stuff, it will remember the mirrors, the seat, and the height of the head-up display, which is nice. You can actually also turn on the fog lights there if you have, if this vehicle has fog lights, so you could turn that on. Oddly, also another weird thing is I've noticed when you turn on the fog lights, it disables the automatic high beam, which that has no correlation with each other. Very strange, but oh well. That's how they decided to do it. Traction control on and off. And you have more controls here. If you press more controls, you could do what you want the car to do for when you're driving. Blind spot warning, one pedal driving, normal or high. So you can adjust it and play with that, and it shows you on the home screen. Oh, let me go back over there. And window controls. You can do window lockout. You could adjust the height of the tailgate if you want it to be custom. You could just turn off the power completely. Or you could just set up your custom height if you, depending on what kind of garage you have. If you have a low garage, you could tell it to open to a certain height, which is pretty cool. Going back to the main screen, ambient lighting, which every vehicle has ambient lighting, so you can control all the colors and everything. Let's see. Oh, you can link it to a drive mode, which there's only 2. And that's pretty much it. It does have wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, so it will completely do that. Auto dimming mirror, all of them. You could do your home link, the OnStar, because this vehicle does have OnStar, being a Honda product. So you can speak to a live person there. These are the buttons to activate the hazards. These are the buttons to open the very large panoramic glass sunroof, which is nice to see. That is an actual opening glass and not just a fixed glass. And you can open it. So it's a pretty nice, deep, decent size. So close it, just press it down. It was, of course, one touch. And it opens a lot, it brings a lot of air into the cabin, which is nice to see. And then the middle button, of course, adjusts the shade. And then this one, you can tilt it. And that's pretty much it. And you do have, of course, 2 very decent large cup holders. This is the wireless charger right here, so the phone leans there and it charges it. A very deep and large center cubby. I have some napkins in here, and you got a little coin tray, whatever. So that's a nice size. And that's pretty much it up front. Let's move on to the back, and then we go for a quick drive and my final thoughts. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's step in the back of the Honda Prologue. So, let me unlock it. Okay. So getting in, the door does not open all the way, which it should have been open at least a little longer, 90 degrees, which would be nice, especially to enter and exit with the kiddos, car seat and everything. Same materials up front, the 2-tone materials. You got tweeters right here, the speaker on the door. Getting in, I am 5'8", and I have plenty of leg room, of course. Being an electric vehicle, there is a lot of space. The floor is completely flat, so there's no hump, obviously, because this is an electric car. You do have 2 vents here in the back. You do have 2 USB-Cs back there, and you do have a household-style outlet right here, which is nice. 2 pockets behind both doors. Center cubby armrest for the cubby holders. I have my Chico booster seat for my little one, and it's easy to set up. The latch points are right here. You can, of course, lift these little flaps like so. You can lift these little flaps, very easy. You put them in there, attach them, and I like the fact that they stay, that they don't go anywhere. These seats are reclinable, so you can just click it once and they recline once, like so. So very comfortable to give you a little bit more room. There's a look at the back window, itty bitty wiper. And visibility is actually not that bad. Yeah, it's a little small. That rear mirror is a little on the small side. I just wish it could be a little larger. But overall, it's a comfortable car to drive in. Pickup is decent, I guess. It's not going to break your neck, like other EVs, but it's an okay EV. It's a fine EV for, let's say, someone who wants to jump into the electric car space. And there's a look at the infotainment and dashboard, which looks very beautiful. All right, let's go for a quick drive and my final thoughts of the 2024 Honda Prologue. Stay tuned for that. All right, let's drive the 2024 Honda Prologue. And this SUV, let me set the temperature. It's one car, one product that, like the saying says, you can't judge a book by its cover. So on paper, you may read it and be like, it's okay, it's blah, it sucks or whatever. No, you have to, with any car, you have to go and drive them. You can't, I recommend not anybody buying an electric vehicle without, or any car for that matter, any cars without test driving it, see if you like it or not. But this is a very, very compelling product. And I'll tell you a little secret. This is actually not a real Honda, which most people are not going to care anyway, but I figure I'd mention that. This is actually a partnership between GM, General Motors, and Honda. So this underneath, this car is a Chevrolet Blazer. So all the switchgear in here, all the stuff in here, it's not Honda. Honda did have a say in the styling, of course, department, the design of how everything looks, which looks like a traditional Honda SUV, which is not bad, all things considered. But yeah, it's a GM product underneath. So because of that, this vehicle will qualify for the $7,500 federal tax credit. If you want to buy this vehicle, you will, that will go into play, plus whatever local state incentives your local state has. But anyway, driving this car, even though it has 21-inch wheels, which are very large, it's actually very, very decent. I'm gonna avoid the highway for a little bit and just drive it locally, and then do my highway loop on the way back. But anyway, it's very nice. It's very pleasant. Again, the power is adequate to put it lightly. It's not going to break your neck in terms of speed, but most people are not racing anyway. Most people are not race car drivers anyway. So 5.8, 5.6, 5.7, whatever it is, that's fine for the type of product this is, because it's going to behave just like a normal vehicle. It's going to feel like a normal vehicle when you're driving, making transition. I love the fact that it does have physical controls for a lot of things. A couple of oddball things, like the headlight controls are in the screen right here, which is interesting and weird, but I guess you can't have it all. Otherwise, it's a fine product. I gotta say, it's a fine product. And the only other issue might be the price. This one here, as tested, is $60,000 because it's the top trim Elite version. So it has all the goodies, every possible option you can want. All right, let's go into the highway here real quick. And let me put it in sport mode, which indicates the little thing here, and it activates fake noise. And let me put the hammer down. And yeah, it goes. It absolutely goes. No problem. You know, it's quick. But that's not the mission of this car anyway. This car is an electric vehicle at its core. It does have very good cargo capability. No idea how it would be in the snow, but I believe, I'm guessing it should be okay. Oh, I forgot to mention, on the left side of the steering wheel, it does have one little paddle to adjust the regen, how much regen you want, more or less. So you can control the regen braking on it from the paddle here real quick. But anyway, this has been my first look and review of the 2024 Honda Prologue. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for subscribing, for liking, for sharing my videos. And I will see you on the next one. Take care and stay safe. I'm gonna avoid the highway for a little bit and just drive it locally, and then do my highway loop on the way back. But anyway, it's very nice. It's very pleasant. Again, the power is adequate to put it lightly. It's not going to break your neck in terms of speed. But most people are not racing anyway. Most people are not race car drivers anyway. So 5.8, 5.6, 5.7, whatever it is, that's fine for the type of product this is, because it's going to behave just like a normal vehicle. It's going to feel like a normal vehicle when you're driving, making transition. I love the fact that it does have physical controls for a lot of things. A couple of oddball things, like the headlight controls are in the screen right here, which is interesting and weird, but I guess you can't have it all. Otherwise, it's a fine product. I gotta say, it's a fine product. And the only other issue might be the price. This one here, as tested, is $60,000 because it's the top trim Elite version. So it has all the goodies, every possible option you can want. All right, let's go into the highway here real quick. And let me put it in sport mode, which indicates the little thing here, and it activates fake noise. And let me put the hammer down. And yeah, it goes. It absolutely goes. No problem. You know, it's quick. But that's not the mission of this car anyway. This car is an electric vehicle at its core. It does have very good cargo capability. No idea how it would be in the snow, but I believe, I'm guessing it should be okay. I forgot to mention, on the left side of the steering wheel, it does have one little paddle to adjust the regen, how much regen you want, more or less. So you can control the regen braking on it from the paddle here real quick. But anyway, this has been my first look and review of the 2024 Honda Prologue. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for subscribing, for liking, for sharing my videos. And I will see you on the next one. Take care and stay safe.